5 o'clock. I'm calling the July 23rd, 2026 meeting of the Bloomington Historic Preservation Commission to order. Would the staff please call the roll?
Absolutely. Bernard Cross?
Yes.
Jack Baker?
Here.
John Butler? Nope. Ernesto Castaneda? Nope. Melody Dusner?
Here.
Karen Duffy?
Here.
Jeff Golden?
Here.
Jeremy Hackard?
Here.
Daniel Schlegel? Absent. Okay. We have a quorum.
All right, we have quorum. Next up is approval of the minutes. Does anybody have any edits?
Yes. But with the vote recording 5-3 to limit commissioners' questions, I guess I'll start with a request for information. What is the threshold to pass such a vote to limit a commissioner's time?
Is that an edit to the minutes?
I'm not
Yeah.
clear what you're
Well,
asking.
the vote said it was approved. It passed at 5-3. Now, if that is below the threshold, then it being recorded as passed would be an edit, because if it didn't meet the threshold, that would be an error in the
I still
minutes.
have no idea what you're talking about.
He's talking about Jack's motion to suspend the rules and go with 3-minute limitation, which should have been a 2/3 vote, but we took it as a majority vote, and it passed, and we proceeded that way. So we can note that in the minutes.
Okay. So a note in the minutes to indicate that it should have received a 2/3 majority vote to pass, because we proceeded as it was passing, so we should note in there that it should have required 2/3.
Right. And is this the correct time to ask follow-up information, or do I wait until
I
after
think
we?
if we're getting into process stuff, let's go to commissioner comments and.
Well, no, a request for information can be made at any time. And I'm just asking if we prefer to do the other requests I have for information, which concerns the procedural vote, which was improperly recorded and enforced, or do we do it after the minutes are approved?
Perhaps I could interject really quickly. I am sorry, as director, I'm filling in for staff today, and I would there's 2 sets of minutes on the agenda for approval, and so we jumped right into comments, and it's not clear to me which set of minutes we're discussing, but it sounds like the previous minutes of July 9th.
Yes.
But both are on there, so let's clarify, since we do
Well,
have 2 sets.
My understanding was that the amended minutes, well, the minutes were amended as voted on last meeting. So do we have to go through an approval of those minutes even though they were amended as instructed? Do we?
They were amended as instructed, and they were put on here just for clarification of this
Okay,
is what it
then
was.
let's go through my questions are for the minutes, right now for the minutes of the 9th of July.
Of the 9th, okay. So do we want to, okay, so let's tackle the June 25th minutes right now. Does anybody have a motion on those minutes?
Move to approve.
Okay, Commissioner Golden has moved to approve the minutes from June 25th. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, Commissioner Duffy has seconded to approve the minutes from June 25th. Any further discussion?
Well, do I need to raise my amendment again?
No, this is, you're talking about.
Oh, my apologies.
Yeah, you're talking about July 9th.
It's been a long day, forgive me.
Yeah, it's okay. Okay, so the motion is on for approval of the minutes from June 25th. We had a motion and a second. No further comments. I think we're ready to vote.
All right, Jack Baker,
Yes.
Melody Dusner,
Abstain?
Karen Duffy,
Yes.
Jeff Golden,
Yes.
Jeremy Hackard.
Yes.
All right, that is 4 votes, 1 abstain.
All right, so that passes. So now we have the minutes from July 9th. Are there any edits to the minutes from July 9th?
Yes. Based on my understanding of Robert's rules, it required a 2/3 majority. It did not meet that threshold, but it's still recorded in the minutes as passing. I would like that to be amended to indicate that it did not pass?
We will indicate that we should have taken a 2/3 vote instead of a majority vote, but the majority vote did pass, and we operated under that understanding. So we'll change that to acknowledge that we should have taken a 2/3 vote.
Okay, well, then now I have a request for information for the record as to what the threshold is for passage of such a motion.
Didn't you just?
2/3, so it's
six.
6. So you're going to record that it passed even though it didn't.
We're gonna record that we took it with a majority vote, and that it
As opposed
passed
to-
with a majority vote, and that we can put a little asterisk in there that says we should have taken a 2/3 vote, because we changed the
Well,
rules during the meeting.
The minutes, I'm asking to be educated here. But is it that the minutes are going to record that the passage with the majority vote was incorrect?
Yeah, it's basically.
That's what I'm
that's
saying.
Okay,
what
then
she's
I
suggesting.
just ask for clarification.
Yeah,
That's fine. And again, request for information. What are the consequences which flows from a vote which limited a commissioner's comments to 3 minutes that was held as passed, which didn't, and therefore a commissioner which had more to say beyond 3 minutes was limited to 3 minutes? What is the remedy for that?
It is my understanding in looking through the rules, typically the remedy is someone raises a point of order or inquiry during that meeting, and it can be addressed at that time.
Well,
But
a
going
point-
back and retroactively doing anything is typically not done.
Well, a point of order which speaks to a breach of the rules can be raised at any time. So would it be appropriate now for me to raise a point of order with regards to the breach of the rules which occurred in the meeting of the 9th?
Is it for amending the minutes?
No,
Then I think, let's take that up in commissioner comments.
no, but again, a point of order can be raised at any time.
And
So you're saying that you're-
suggesting, let's talk about it during
But it-
commission minutes, so we're not having other folks sitting around.
But it is very appropriate because it will speak to how this meeting continues. If we don't clarify certain points now, then when we get to demolition delays again, and there are other things that need to be clarified about how demolition delays are treated, if we don't deal with them now, are we gonna wait until commissioners' comments? So we run the danger of making the same mistakes we did the last time in this demolition delay.
Mm-hmm.
Because I see that as a relevant to when the issues are raised. You can't raise
Sure.
it after the DD when the questions and the issues of concern relate to how DDs are held.
Well, that would be more relevant during the demolition there. So if you have a question about when the demolition delay is handled, we could talk about it at that time for points of clarification on that. We're just talking about the minutes right now and approving them. So I think if we're staying on topic, which we need to do, I think let's talk about the minutes. If you have questions about the process for the demolition delays, let's
Sure.
raise them then.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we have the minutes from July 29th. Commissioner Cross has suggested editing them to note that there should have been a 2/3 vote in order for the, oh gosh, what would he say? To suspend the rules. Does anybody want to make a motion?
Move to approve what's been added.
Okay, so Commissioner Golden has moved to approve the minutes from July 29th with the note about the 2/3 requirement. Anybody have a second? All right. Commissioner Duffy has seconded. Any further comments? No? All right, seeing none, I think we're ready to vote.
Jack Baker,
Yes.
Melanie Dusner,
Yes.
Karen Duffy,
Yes.
Jeff Golden,
Yes.
Jeremy Hackard.
Yes.
All right, that is 5 yeses.
All right, thank you very much. I think we are now off to certificates of appropriateness. First off, we have 3 for staff review. Mr. Sandwise, please take it away.
First COA of the evening, COA 2641.
This is for 411 West 3rd Street in the Greater Prospect Hill Historic District. Petitioner is Andrew Meyer. This is a contributing 1907 house, a large two-story house consisting of two gable-roofed wings intersecting in an L shape. The house has been substantially altered over the years with additions, replacement windows and doors, and other exterior features. The side gabled wing has a small brick front porch on the east end of the house. This request is for the removal of a rooftop chimney, which you see indicated here, and the roof would be patched with architectural shingles to match the current roofing. The staff approves COA 2641. The chimney that the applicants propose to remove is a more minor feature that does not contribute significantly to the building's architectural character. Next item, COA 2642 in the Near West Side Historic District. Petitioner is Bill Manopoulos. The request is for the installation of custom vinyl windows to match the grid of the existing wood windows on this house. Originally, the front facade of this house faced 7th Street, but since the construction of but since this time, the east elevation has become the front facade, so the house has been moved slightly. The house has an asphalt shingled cross-gabled roof with a brick chimney, wood siding, and a limestone block foundation. The front wing of the house has chamfered corners with gingerbread corner brackets and hanging pendants. The gable wall has wood shingle siding and a central carved wood attic vent and a wide band of trim on the eave. The front elevation holds a hip-roofed porch at the L, which stands on limestone posts with the limestone knee walls. The house is stylized 6/1 wood sash windows. Well, that's not true. That's 4/1 wood sash. No, there's some of both. Okay. Anyway, there's some. I guess that's 6/1. Okay. The house has some 6/1 wood sash windows throughout. The porch shelters, they're, as you will see, very sort of complicated windows. The porch shelters 2 front doors, one leading to each wing of the house. The east wing is similarly styled to the front, however, without the chamfered corners. The gable wall has wood shingle siding, return cornices, and a wide band of trim on the eave. The house has a small number of historic additions off the rear, a kitchen L at the northeast corner, and a shed dormer on the east wing. This request is for the replacement of the windows with vinyl windows that would be custom made to match the dimensions and design of the existing windows. And staff approves COA 2642. The table for levels of review in the Near West Side guidelines recommend approval of windows with alternative materials, as long as the dimensions and configurations are unchanged. While the replacement of original features such as windows do require review, leniency is requested. Some of these windows, namely the 6/1 windows, which are kind of 4/2/1, are significant to the building's ornate late Victorian design, and the reproduction of this pattern is necessary for retaining the significant aspect of the building's appearance. So this is not the only, because there are some of these 6/1 windows that have different dimensions which are included in your packet materials, but I wanted to include an example here. Okay. Moving on, COA 2644. Address is 912 West 6th Street in the Near West Side. Or, that's not right. That's.
It's because it's out of order.
It's out of order, that's right.
101.
Because that's going to be staff review or commission review. This is 2644. 101 West Kirkwood Avenue, Suites 117 and 116 in the Courthouse Square Historic District. Petitioner is Kelly Jennings. Suites 117 and 116 of the Fountain Square Mall are located in a non-contributing altered 1860s brick commercial building, which you see on the left, and a contributing Italianate brick commercial building, respectively. The store Mirth is expanding into 117 and installing new signage at both locations in the same place as existing signage, which you see in the picture here. The request as I received it, we are expanding our store into the adjacent Suite 116, formerly known as Ellie Mae's Boutique. We'd like to put our store name Mirth and the tagline Women's Apparel, Footwear, Accessories on the existing sign space. The letters would be made locally by Everywhere signs from an acrylic material. And staff approves COA 2644. The proposed signage would be mounted in the location of the existing signage and would be similar in design and materials to other storefront signs found on the Fountain Square Mall building. Okay.
All right, next up, we have items for commission review. This is the procedure for certificates of appropriateness and demolition delays. For each item on the agenda, the Historic Preservation Program Manager will first present a staff report. We will then hear if the petitioner has any additional information about their request, followed by public comment. Once public comment concludes, commissioners will be able to ask questions to staff, petitioner, and the public. We ask that petitioners, the public, and commissioners refrain from speaking until addressed by the chair, unless a question is directly addressed to them. Following commissioner questions, the chair will entertain a motion from a commissioner regarding the petition. Once a motion is made, we will then open up a discussion of the item for members of the commission only. Finally, once the commissioners have each had a chance to speak, the commission will vote on the petition. We encourage all commissioners, petitioners, and members of the public to be civil and respectful at all times. First up is COA 2643 is the petitioner here, Leslie Wagner. Are they online?
I'm not seeing them.
Not online.
Okay, so we will move this to after the demolition delay, just to see if they might show up. All right, then we have demolition delay, DD 2610, Mr. Sandweiss. Can you please give your report?
All right. So we have one demolition delay for this evening for a request for partial demolition. This is at 1317 East Davis Street, which is an outstanding building. I'll go through the details. 1317 East Davis is an outstanding rated modernist ranch with two massings separated by a massive limestone chimney block.
Excuse me. It's a point of order.
Yes.
Order.
I was of the opinion that my request for information was going to be dealt with before the demolition delay issue. Because
he's giving us a report, and then you'll have your chance to ask questions.
No, I'm not asking questions about this. I'm asking a point of request for information.
Okay. All right. Seems reasonable.
Okay.
What's your question?
So, in light of what happened at the last demolition delay, I believe that certainly me, I don't know if any other member on this commission needs clarification as to how demolition delays need to be conducted, but I am certainly unclear. So, with regards to our guidelines, which speak to demolition delay, which is, I don't know if this is 1 or I, Article 1K. It says, for purposes of rules and procedures, no demolition delay case will be considered a petition. However, members of the commission may decide to delay the discussion until enough information is presented. I would like to know how this request for information will be dealt with moving forward.
This has happened in the past where commissioners have requested and made a motion for more information and continued the demolition delay to a subsequent meeting, asking staff to add information to my report.
Motion seconded and voted on.
Yeah, but give me a second here. So, a motion needs to be presented.
Correct.
Okay, so according to Robert's rules, a request where the intent is clearly expressed and understood would constitute such a motion. And if it isn't stated in technical language, it is up to the chair to state that request in the form of a motion and present it to the membership and ask for a second. Is my understanding of Robert's rules in regards to how requests are to be handled correct or incorrect?
I thought we were discussing demolition tonight.
No, we are.
He raised a point of order on the demolition delay, and I've allowed it because it makes sense to cover it here, just to
Right.
make sure we're all on the same page.
So my question is, if I say, hey, I would like some more information, according to Robert's rules, the intent is clear, more information. If I say, let's come back and visit this in 2 weeks, then it's a clear period of time over which this information is to be gathered. That sounds like, in my opinion, based on what's in Robert's rules, the chair should take that up, form it in an appropriate motion and present it to the commission. Is that how we're gonna move forward from now on?
We haven't operated in that way. I asked for a
Well,
motion,
we-
and
Sure.
and then there was a motion that was made to release, and there was a second, I restated it. So we're gonna talk about that. I can't think of any time where I've actually, other people expressed they also wanted to have a demolition delay, or release the delay, and they made the motion. So we moved forward with that. Nobody raised a motion to say, or even jumped in to try to make another motion. They didn't make a request for Commissioner Golden to withdraw his motion, to reconsider. There were other options that were there that were available, but I have tried not to read people's minds in here and let people make the motions that they want to.
Oh, so under 1L, it says parliamentary procedure. Meeting shall be conducted according to the the procedure set out in Robert's rules. So then when we go to Robert's rules now, which is where this part of our guidelines refers us to, Robert's rules said, if a member expresses a desire or makes a request that is not in technical language or framed as a motion, once the intent of that request is understood, it's the duty of the chair to frame that request in a motion and present it to the commission. So
I see.
let me finish. So you didn't hear the word motion, but you heard a request for more information. You heard specific details of the information requested and a timeline to which the member or members would like that information to come. I heard 2 weeks several times. So according to Robert's rules, that request clearly understood with enough detail to provide the membership with a clear understanding of what the person making the request needed, it is a responsibility of the chair to take that request, form it into a motion. The burden is not placed on the member to make the motion. The burden is placed on the chair. Read it. The burden is placed on the chair. You have a copy of Robert's rules right there.
I know.
Good. It's a burden in Robert's rules placed on the chair to form that request in a motion. So the fact that you didn't hear a motion is exactly what that rule speaks to. The technical language of I am making a motion was not done. Such a contingency is dealt with in Robert's rules. And so it was the job of the chair to take that request, form it in a motion, present it, ask for a second, which then would form a subsidiary motion which needs to be voted on before the main motion on the floor. That was what didn't happen, and I would like my request for information would like A, to clarify whether or not that was done, and B, how are we going to treat situations like this moving forward?
So when I asked for motions, if somebody had said, well, I think we need to
do this, delay for 2 weeks. If somebody had blurted that out, I would have said, do you want to make a motion at that point? And then we would have moved forward with
It's in the
that.
minutes of the 9th.
During the conversation, I cannot make 5 different motions for 5 different people wanting to do very different
that's your job as
things.
chair.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Commissioner
Read Robert's
Cross,
rules.
I did. It's not that.
Okay,
Shall we go back to
That's
the
enough.
minutes of the
No.
9th?
No.
this is enough.
No.
This is enough.
Sir, I'm sorry. I processed a motion that somebody made. If somebody, one of the other people had come through and said in some other words, I think we need to move this during the motion period
Miss,
to go forward, I would have helped them formulate it. Just like the last meeting and even earlier when we were trying to make motions to revise the things, I talked through it and we tried to make the motion what it would be.
well, that's not according to the minutes, and that's not according to my recollection. John Butler made a pretty reasonable presentation. Daniel Schlegel said he also would like to have some additional information. Noah responded, yes, that information is attainable. So John Butler said, I would like to have more time. I believe that if given more time, I can make a case for the preservation. And he stated very specific things that he would like to come back and present on, and he made requests of Noah, asking if Noah could research some of this information, and Noah answered in the affirmative. Daniel Schlegel then said, yes, I support this. I do, but I don't count because I'm advisory. But we had 2 voting members who clearly requested, and I members in the audience also supported it based on what Mr. Butler said. So the fact that you can say you did not hear anybody express a request for more information, detail what kind of information the staff, program manager indicating, obviously he heard what was being requested because he responded to say, yes, I can get this information. So how can you say that you didn't hear a request for information? I find that incredible.
Nobody said that.
But nobody is required to
Yes,
say
they
that.
are.
That's
They have
what
to- you have
that's
to-
what
There was a
Robert's rule
motion on the
says.
floor.
There was a motion on the
And if you would
floor.
like to review the entire meeting, it is available on CATS.
So you're saying that unless somebody uses the word motion, you will not recognize it.
When I said I will entertain a motion, if somebody had said, I think we need to delay, I would have clarified, are you?
John Butler did that.
Not at that time. When I asked if there was a motion, it was Commissioner Golden and he said those things. That the things you're talking about were said at other periods of the meeting. I cannot make motions for people. I can help them clarify.
Mr. Golden, you made a motion.
Of course.
Good. And somebody seconded.
Yes.
Then we had the discussion, and it was during the discussion that John Butler said that he wanted the delay, which should have formed a motion in itself, where after the motion on the floor would have constituted a subsidiary motion, which needs to be dealt with prior to the main motion.
I don't think
No,
there's
I don't
agreement
think
here
so.
on
There's
that.
a motion
Okay.
on the floor. You deal with the motion on the floor first.
No, that is, could you reread what subsidiary motions are?
So, first of all, I don't believe that you can have a subsidiary motion that undoes the main motion.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be subsidiary, it would be an alternate motion. You were deciding on the motion whether to release the demolition or not. That was the motion on the table. And that was the motion that passed. It's hard to have a subsidiary or a second an amended motion to something that is to release it, right? You're not establishing conditions, you're not, setting a time frame or doing any of the things within your purview.
You said
So-
you don't think a subsidiary motion can speak against the main motion. Do you have any sources to back that up, please?
Here's how it would have worked. So the subsidiary motion would be to request for more time, but the motion that was made was to release demolition delay. So how could those two be passed at once?
Yeah.
A subsidiary motion is a parliamentary tool used to modify, delay, or otherwise dispose of the main motion. modify the main motion, delay the main motion, or dispose of the main motion. That is what a subsidiary motion is there. So there's nothing which speaks to the subsidiary motion being in agreement. It is meant to either delay. So it's meant to either delay, modify, or dispose of the motion. Delay the motion. That was what the subsidiary motion meant to do, to delay the motion on the floor to release by 2 weeks. That was the purpose of the subsidiary motion.
Except there was no subsidiary motion.
Yeah.
Yes,
There was a motion on the floor that had to be dealt with, and I could potentially see your argument had there not been a motion on the floor to be dealt with.
there is nothing in Robert's rules that says a motion, it doesn't differentiate
Dusner?
between main motion and subsidiary motions.
Commissioner
Ms.
Dusner,
Dusner?
do you have any comments?
I wasn't here, and I'm not super familiar with Robert's rules, but I just wanted to ask. So, if there's a motion on the floor and we're talking about it, let's say somebody really disagrees with it, then would we have to vote no on that before we could raise a new motion to ask for more time? Do we have to completely sort of dispose with the motion on the floor? So we would, if it was something that we really wanted to disagree with, we would first have to vote no on that and then propose.
Yes.
And okay, just checking because I too suspect this may come up again, and I just wanted that.
But that,
Yeah.
but
You
if,
have to
but,
actually make the motion.
Yeah.
but if a subsidiary motion has a purpose, an intrinsic purpose to delay the main motion on the floor, it would make no sense to vote on the main motion. How would you delay the main motion by using a subsidiary motion if the main motion has to be voted first before the subsidiary motion?
Mr. Cross, no
right.
secondary subsidiary motion was made. You guys discussed it, but you did not make a motion to have a subsidiary, just because you had the discussion. I could see where if there was discussion on the floor without a motion, then the chair could potentially form a motion based on the comments. But because there was already a motion on the table, and you did not, or any voting member did not throw out a subsidiary motion, there was nothing to vote on.
So, yes, it was not just a discussion. A request was made. And under Robert's rules, a request holds the power of a motion if the definition is clear, it is specific, and its purpose is understood. So, we had a discussion, correct. Then member Butler said, I want more time, clear request, to do these things, clear request, to come back within this time period. And we had, from Daniel Slagle, agreement to say, I also would like to hear more information. And Noah, is 2 weeks enough for you to get this stuff? And Noah answered in the affirmative. So we had a clear request, not just a discussion. We had a clear articulated request with parameters for special things to be done. It was acknowledged by staff that that could happen. We had another member saying, yeah, I agree, I also wanted it. That request under Robert's rules is not a discussion we're talking about. We're talking about that specific, clear, articulated request made by the member constitutes a motion under Robert's rules. That request should have been taken by the chair, and you should have said, okay, I heard a request, it's doing this, it's doing that, it sounds like a request to table the matter for 2 weeks. Is that correct, Mr. Butler? Is that what you want? That is what we've always done.
No.
I've sat here and seen Sam DeSolar, take requests. I've seen John Saunders do it. Regardless of whether it was done by these people or not, the rules, Robert's rules, as stated, authorized as our parliamentary procedures for these meetings, clearly state that a clearly articulated request is a motion. And happening after a main motion, it acts like a subsidiary motion with the purpose to delay the main motion, which is the purpose of a subsidiary motion. So, for you to disagree with me, you would have to A, show that the request made by John Butler was not a request. You'd have to show,
Miserable.
you'd have to also show that having been made after the main motion, it doesn't constitute a consubsidiary motion. You'd have to show that despite Robert's rule saying that when a request is made, the chair should present it to the commission in the form of a motion and ask for a second. If all those three things are correct, then what we had happen on the meeting of the 25th of June was incorrect process. And unless somebody can tell me where any of these three pillars are incorrect, I don't see how the logic doesn't hold.
They already told you.
No.
Commissioner Duffy, sir, you've had a lot of time to talk. Commissioner Duffy, you raised your hand.
But it's my point of information.
I know, when we're trying to get more information, man.
Sure.
Well, I was just gonna say that we have had this kind of difference of opinion happening in the past, and where some people wanted more information. And if my memory serves me correctly, what worked, and seems to me would work the best, is for that person to say, even though another motion is on the floor, so cannot make a motion to dispense of it, could say, I will be voting against this because I would like to subsequently make a motion that's similar but amended, or, whatever.
Yeah.
Requesting more information.
Yeah,
That's
Commissioner
what's
Baker.
been done. And it's not been, I don't
Does-
remember it ever been left to the chair to.
But that was
Commissioner
probably
Baker is
before
next up.
Robert's rules was
Sir,
codified in our
Baker's-
guidelines.
I've called on Commissioner Baker. Commissioner Baker.
I didn't discern any request, a motion at that meeting. I heard, yes, I'd like to have more information. A couple of people may have said that. But I was listening, and I didn't hear anyone make anything that I would have considered a motion. Been around a little bit. I'm listening to what people say, but I didn't hear that. And let me just say that in redress, the gentleman had the option of also saying, "Would you withdraw the motion so that I can put a motion on for additional information?" And that request wasn't made either. That's perfectly legitimate. Or to amend in some way, or seek to amend. There are things that could have been done that weren't done. The motion just, as I see it, there was a legitimate motion made and acted upon. We're beating the horse is dead,
Yes.
and we're beating on the horse. We're going in circles and circles, hearing the same thing over and over and over again. And that's all I have to say.
Can I ask a question? Sure. Mr. Baker, did you hear anyone?
I'm not going to debate with you.
No, I'm not asking you. Okay.
Commissioner Cross, you addressed the chair.
No,
Address
hold
the
on.
chair.
No. Hold on. Are you telling me that nobody here, despite the fact that it's in the minutes, hear Commissioner Baker say, I would like to postpone this for 2 weeks so that I can get more information? He made a request of staff. Daniel Schlegel said he'd also like. Did you hear the request? That's all I'm asking. Did you hear a request for more time? Yes or no?
I'm not debating anymore.
Yes or no? So even though it's in the minutes,
It's in the minutes because you asked for it to be amended and put in the amended.
no, it's in the, well, if it didn't happen, then it shouldn't be in the minutes. But it did happen, and it was clearly articulated in the minutes that a request for information was made.
I'm sorry that the motion that you wanted was not.
No,
put
no,
onto the
no,
table.
no, that, my request,
it's
no,
time to
my
move on.
point of information, I'm sorry.
Director
I was
Kelly
told,
Hansen.
again, things change, but I directed a question at the chair. And a point of information, was there, this is the information that I want, and it's either yes or no. Was there a request made at the meeting
What's all?
of the 25th of June by Commissioner Baker for more time to gather information, asking for 2 weeks and requesting staff to provide it? Was a request made by Commissioner Baker? I'm not asking about a motion, I'm not asking about anything else. I'm asking, did he make a request? And I would like to ask Noah. Did you hear a request to research issues concerning patent and to check on the number of buildings of a particular style, architectural style, as commercial buildings?
All right. I'm
Did
gonna.
you hear that request from Commissioner Biggs? Commissioner Butler?
Excuse me, this point of order, I am now ruling that it is not well taken. We are moving
Okay,
on.
so, well,
It can be appealed to the
I would like to
commission.
raise a point of order.
You can raise another one, but I just found that other one not well taken.
Okay. Is the chair gonna answer the question asked during the request for information?
We have already talked about this.
No, I'm
And it's
asking-
already been answered.
So the answer
The
is
point
yes
of
or no?
order is not well taken.
Okay, I have more requests for information relating to demolition delays.
Commissioner Golden.
In the interest of the member of the public sitting in this meeting, I'd ask that the commissioners stand down and bring specific information from the minutes that he would like to point out at the next meeting.
No, because we have a demolition delay right here, and if these matters aren't dealt with, then certainly, how are we going to know what is expected of us, what's expected of the commission?
I would also like to bring up the point to the chair that there is an underlying theme that maybe the results would have been different after a vote to release the demolition delay was made. So if somebody asks for more information, doesn't mean that it's gonna happen.
The issue is not about whether it would be released or not. It's not about the merits of the case. The point of information speaks specifically to the procedures and guidelines here. And if the procedures and guidelines, within our guidelines, we use Robert's rules. It's codified in our procedures. And Robert's rules indicate that a certain process must be followed. If we don't follow the process, I certainly have a right as a commissioner to speak on it. And if it is that members are going to become forgetful about what happened in meetings, even though the minutes are there which speak to it, and people are going to speak in contradiction to the minutes and then say, well, it's in the minutes because I asked for it to be in there. It's in there because it occurred. It's not in there because I asked for it. It occurred, and I felt it important that this be recorded in the minutes to support these questions that I came here to ask. Also keep in mind that I would have raised these issues at the last meeting, but I was denied an opportunity to speak because an incorrect decision was made based on a vote that didn't pass. So it seems that my questions about procedure is very much relevant because we have managed to breach them on two separate occasions.
We've answered the questions. We are going around in circles. In the interest of time, we are moving on to the staff report.
So I have other information.
I'm not going to
requests.
take any of them
You're not going to take any more
right now. No,
requests for information
sir, you
from
have
me.
filibustered this meeting. My job as chair is to make sure we are going through the
Well,
agenda.
I would like to raise a point of order. Our rules state that when a point of information is on the table, it cannot be voted on. It's not for debate. And it can occur whenever there is at any time relevant to the proceeding. I think points of information about demolition delay just before a demolition delay vote is an appropriate time.
We've already answered these things. We have business that we need to get to.
Yes,
This
but I
gentleman
have
needs to have
several
his-
issues about demolition delays, which I believe need to be.
Then we'll take them up the rest of the time in commissioner comments.
No,
We're not.
because you can't
Sir,
take them up after the vote.
I'm the chair. We're moving on. We are on the
And I've raised a
agenda.
point of order.
And
Are
I
you saying-
denied it.
Okay. good.
You have kept on doing it over and over. We've talked about it. We need to move on.
So let me just make this clear. I've raised a point of information. You've denied it. I've raised a point of order relating to your denial of my request for information, and you've denied it. on what basis are you denying it? Is it that their questions are not relevant? Because you haven't heard them yet.
We are trying to get through the agenda.
But
I
they
am managing it.
speak to-
Sir, we have been speaking
they
for a very long time.
And you have been skillfully evasive about answering my questions about the last demolition delay request on the 25th of June.
This isn't a courtroom. We are
No,
here
it
moving. I know,
isn't.
and you're not a prosecutor asking me as a defendant, sir. We're moving on. We're here to talk about a demolition delay. Let's get to our actual business. We have been around on this.
So you're not going to entertain my...
I've denied it after hearing you talk for about 30 minutes.
Demolition delay 2610, 1317 East Davis Street. Petitioner is Ross Chitwood. Is the petitioner present? 1317 East Davis is an outstanding rated modernist ranch with two massings separated by a massive limestone chimney stack. To one side is half of a front-facing gable with vinyl siding above the first floor with 3 banded windows. The other side is a recessed with a clear-story window. A single sash window sits in the middle of the facade, and ribbon windows turn the corner on the side. Typical of the style, a carport extends from the roof to the side of the house. Built in 1955, the house was first owned by Ravenna and Roscoe Parrish. Roscoe worked as a dentist and died 2 years later. Ravenna worked as a clerk for the IU Records office, and they lived in the house until 1963. For the next 6 years, the house was owned by Richard Stiegel, regional manager for Thermogas in Ellettsville, and his wife Helen. The final owners of the house prior to the current owners were Jack and Joan Myers, owners of the university's sporting goods store, which they opened in their early 20s at the corner of Kirkwood and Walnut, and operated for 47 years. This request is for partial demolition, as I'll show you, which would include the construction of a side addition that would partially enclose the carport, the western end of the carport with a mudroom. This proposal calls for the reuse of limestone siding currently on the east end of the house facing the carport for use as wainscoting on the addition. The roof line of the carport would remain unchanged, as would the eastern half of the carport, which is open. The recommendation of staff in this case is for the release of demolition delay 2610. This property is undoubtedly eligible for designation as an outstanding example of a modern ranch with a number of significant character-defining features. For an addition to be considered compatible with the Secretary of Interior standards for historic preservation, an addition must be clearly differentiated but compatible with the original structure, be appropriately scaled, and not destroy historic materials or features that characterize the property. In the opinion of staff, this proposal achieves these standards. This addition would use materials found on the original house, but would be subordinate in size and position, differentiated by the use of wainscoting and siding rather than floor-to-ceiling limestone, would retain the roofline and partial openness of the carport, and would not obscure significant features on the east end of the house, including the corner window. Does the petitioner have anything that he would like to add?
No. Are there any comments from the public? Anybody online would like to speak on this? No? Anybody else in the room? Kind of guessing not, but okay. All right, we'll go to Commissioner questions. Commissioner Goldney, how many questions about this?
No questions.
Commissioner Baker.
Just a question, does the old carport get torn completely off and redone? It's a redo of the carport?
We're leaving it intact. There's a shed under one corner of it that we're leaving alone. We're just essentially filling in the left half of that red car is and making it like a mud room, because currently they enter in a kitchen. So I leave the roof alone. I just put in a foundation and just cut the asphalt. It's pretty simple, so.
Thank you.
Commissioner Duffy, any questions?
No additional questions, that was it.
Okay, Commissioner Dusner.
Just one little additional on that. This sounds like it would be basically reversible if somebody wanted to put it back to this. Is that
for the
yeah,
petitioner?
yes.
Not quite.
It'd be a tile floor in it, and we have to, by code, have a frost barrier.
Okay.
So I have to put in a foundation for it.
Mhm.
But I don't know, they just wanted, because you walk into their kitchen and it's a pretty small kitchen, so they wanted a bigger area, so.
Thanks.
My question, I guess I have one for the petitioner. Is the door that's on the existing, like that side door, is that going away? That's in like the limestone?
It'll be in the house.
It'll be in the house? Okay. And then I guess question for staff, this is an outstanding property, but
Right.
it's not in a district, right?
Mhm.
So is this one of the, we ran into this at the last meeting where in the demolition delay language, we talk about, we released it, but we may designate it later for historic preservation. Is this kind of maybe where that applies of we could theoretically say, yes, we release this demolition delay, but if we might later revisit the house and be like, well, the house is still really significant, maybe we'd want to designate it, because usually in demolition delays, at least all the ones I can remember, we've just destroyed the house, or they have. This seems different. So
Yeah,
I'm
this
just trying
is
to clarify.
This is a little different because in this case, it's not a demolition permit that's contingent on this demolition delay being released. It's a building plan for an addition.
Okay.
So this is for basically the work that's being proposed and presented to you. So if there was a petition, say later, or a proposal later that came up to demolish this house or to conduct another alteration that would bring it back to demolition delay, then it could potentially be designated.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to kind of clarify that, because we were all kind of like, that language is odd, but
Right.
when I saw this, I was like, I bet it applies to this.
Well, the other thing too is you all can designate on your own motion.
Yes.
So whereas you may not want to designate when somebody comes through with a demolition delay, you could decide later
But yeah.
to,
Right. Yeah.
to take it up.
And that's why we're reserving that right. Okay, that makes so much more sense.
So I have another question.
Yes, please, Commissioner Golden.
So this is demolition delay, that we really don't have purview over what's going to be done, just changing what's there.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make that clear.
I guess I'm not clear, what's being demolished?
So
Stone off the east side, that's it, to reuse,
Okay.
I mean, I'm not tearing anything down, so.
So partial demolition.
It's weird.
Which comes up for demolition delay for notable and outstanding rated buildings.
Yeah.
Can apply to a number of exterior changes that could impact a building's historic significance or eligibility for, I guess, designation. That would include additions like this. So it's called demolition delay. They put a sign in their yard that says notice of demolition, which could freak out neighbors. But it's all the same process. So I understand the confusion.
Okay. Any other questions? No? All right, well, I think we're at the point where I'll entertain a motion.
Move to release demolition delay DD 26-10.
All right, Commissioner Golden has moved to release demolition delay 26-10. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Commissioner Baker has seconded to release demolition delay 26-10. Let's go to comments. Commissioner Golden, you go first since you made the motion.
This is a beautiful house. I would hate to lose the essence of it, but I think this is a sympathetic addition, and I approve.
Okay. Commissioner Baker, you seconded?
I agree with the staff report, and I will vote yes for this.
Okay, Commissioner Duffy.
Same, I support this.
Commissioner Dusner.
Same, as long as a small change now doesn't prevent us from greater protection later.
Which,
Yeah.
It sounds
I don't
like
think it
that's
would.
built in. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
yep, and I basically second Commissioner Dusner. I mean, we reserve our rights later on to be able to designate this if we so choose, but I think this makes sense. I don't see anything wrong with this, so I will vote to release. Okay, any other secondary comments from anyone? No? Okay, I think we're ready to vote.
Alright. Jack Baker,
Yes.
Melody Dusner,
Yes.
Karen Duffy,
Yes.
Jeff Golden,
Yes.
Jeremy Hackard.
Yes.
Motion carries 5 yeses.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. All right, we're gonna. Oh, again, Commissioner Baker, please read the motion.
This is the demolition delay resolutions. This is the release today regarding the property at 1317 East Davis Street. The Historic Preservation Commission, HPC, declares that it got notice of proposed demolition / partial demolition, and after today's discussion sees no need to review the plans any further and waives the rest of the demolition delay waiting period. The HPC may later recommend the property for historic designation to the Common Council.
Thank you, Vice Chair Baker, for correcting me on that.
All right, let's circle back to COA 2643. Is the petitioner online?
So I received an email from the petitioner during this meeting where she said that she will not be attending tonight. She had something else come up.
Okay, so we have a.
She can either give you a written agreement to continue it, in which case your 30-day window, your 30-day clock would not start tolling, or you all can decide to deny without prejudice, and she can bring it back when she's available.
Yeah, this is one of those new ones. I think maybe let's go with, I'm curious what people want to do on this one. Let's go questions first, since does anybody have questions about our options of what we can do with this? I think it's
So based on our discussion last meeting, I think, or maybe 2 meetings ago, if we deny, is it with prejudice?
without prejudice.
Without prejudice, then she can just reapply.
Correct.
And there's no,
In the 30-day, this tolls the 30-day clock, so
Right,
we
so
don't
it-
lose the time.
so she could not reply, and the 30 days
Correct.
could pass, and then
It
so I
actually,
think,
it actually would, because it's, I think, 3 weeks until our next meeting, so I think
Yeah.
the clock would run out.
so I think we need to deny without prejudice.
And you all read the background on this case, right? So part of the consideration here is that Bloomington Restorations, Inc. has a preservation easement on this house. So part of the reason why this was not handled as staff approval, there were a couple of reasons, but one of them was waiting on the BRI board to weigh in, which happened on Tuesday.
So we could deny, and she could come back to you, and you could do a staff approval.
Potentially.
Or it'd come back to us.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions on that? I just want to make sure we're clear on stuff. It looks like you might have a question.
It's not a question, but just an observation. I like this option for its clarity. I like the fact that it keeps it clear that we're the ones who are sort of like steering this when it's in our court, when it's in her court.
Yeah.
So I think, as opposed to we need to ask her permission to bring back whatever, this is much, I like this procedure better.
Okay. Any other questions? Then I think, does anybody have a motion?
Move to deny without prejudice.
Yes, for COA 2643. Okay, so Commissioner Golden has moved to deny without prejudice. COA 2643 is their second. Commissioner Dusner has seconded. Any further comments from anyone? Well, I think this is the way to go. That's my comment. All right, I think we're ready to call the roll.
All right. Jack Baker,
Yes.
Melody Dusner,
Yes.
Karen Duffy,
Yes.
Jeff Golden,
Yes.
Jeremy Hackard.
Yes.
All right, motion carries.
Excellent. All right, so now we're through the COAs and demolition delays. That brings us to old business. Mr. Sandweiss, is there any old business?
Old business. No, not that I can think of.
All right, any new?
New business? Not really.
Commissioner Baker.
Just a comment, whether we call it old business, but over procedure this evening.
Could
I
we
heard,
could we have that for commissioner comment, or is that, I'm just, commissioner comments? Is that,
It's the
yes.
next item.
Rule how you need to, but it's a comment I'd like to make. But
yeah, sure. Let's just have that as commissioner comment, if that's okay. We'll move on to the commissioner comments next. Commissioner Baker, please. Sorry. Please go ahead.
the way the meeting was handled just most recently, the gentleman made a comment that he would like to have or would like to see, and it was not taken as a motion, as it should not have been. It was not made as a motion, it was made as a comment, and it was taken as a comment and not something that had to be handled by the president or anyone or by procedurally. And I think that's the way the previous meeting was handled that we've been talking about so much, and that's it. That's all I want to say.
Okay. Any other commissioner comments? No? Doesn't look like it. For me, I try to run these meetings as honestly as I possibly can. I will make mistakes. Commissioners, it is also their duty to point out points of order, ask for clarification on the rules. I'm not going to get everything right, but the time to do it is in that meeting. We can't go back in time. We can't change something that happened as much as maybe some people want. So I encourage everybody, let's be respectful to each other. Let's have calm conversations where we actually are talking about the issues that are important to us all, rather than resorting to theatrics, and trying to stay on the agenda. And when requests are made for maybe being able to move it to another part of the agenda so we accommodate the public, we're here to serve the public first and foremost. And I think we need to take our actions with that in mind, and then be able to deliberate amongst ourselves when we have further questions and things of that nature without wasting everybody else's time. So that is my comment for the day. Thank you all very much for sticking through the rest of this meeting. Any public comments? Anyone online? Doesn't look like it. Anybody here in the audience? No. All right, that brings us to the end of our agenda, so this meeting is adjourned.